Good evening, everyone. Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy. We appreciate everybody showing up here this evening. Get a couple things set up here. I forgot to tell you, running late as usual. Things are crazy, as they always are. But I do appreciate everybody showing up here this evening. Appreciate Weekend RVing, getting in here early. Thank you very much. Hope everything's doing well out there. I know I wish I was out that way, enjoying the warm weather, but very shortly I will be, and looking forward to sharing that with you all. Kent and Bambi down in Maryland, appreciate you guys showing up here this evening. And my lovely bride, she's joining us this evening, watching in on all the comments, making sure that she wishes everybody welcome to joining us this evening. So this evening, we're going to talk about solar, because I think solar on RVs is probably one of many, but one subject or one set, I guess if you want to call it an option, that a lot of people really don't understand. There's a big misconception of that. And the reason for that is because of the fact that, you know, you're driving down the road and you see someone's house and you see all these solar panels on the roof, right? And everybody thinks that, wow, that house is being run on solar. When in reality, the majority of homes that you see solar sitting on, they're not being run by solar. They're actually collecting power and sending it back to the electric company. And that's what offsets their electric for their house. So, I mean, listen, you could actually set up solar in your house if you were able to put enough to go ahead and run everything. But there's a lot that goes to that. So I want to kind of break it down for RVs. Before we get started, just want to go ahead and give a quick hold. Let me see. My wife is sending me down a message here. See what's happening here. Am I blurry? Am I blurry again today? Let me know if I'm coming in blurry or not. We got Debbie Griffith is in here this evening and nursing our travel bug. Appreciate you all coming in here. Am I coming in blurry this evening? Because I made sure I cut out. Okay, so I am very blurry. Wonder what that is all about. Let me check one thing here, folks. I do appreciate you telling me that. I am going to go ahead and look and see what I've got going on here. Now, I hope I don't disconnect here. Has that changed it at all? Checking to see. Let me know if you all, if I'm still in here. You all, I kind of changed something on my thing. Let's see here. Okay, so am I clear? I'm not blurry. Just checking to see. I don't have my lovely bride is not in here, so I'm clear now. No more blurriness, huh? Well, I appreciate you guys giving me that heads up. I'll tell you, I'm just going to hardwire my computer so I don't run into that issue. I know I watch other people's lives and I wonder why they're so. Oh, am I still blurry? Oh, I'm still blurry. Somebody's saying. So I am still blurry. Well, unfortunately, I don't know what is causing that, ladies and gentlemen. You'll just have to bear with me. And I guess just take in the content. I'm going to have to work on this and see what the heck's going on, because I'm not sure why this is the case. So, but I'm going to try something else here. Shut off my phone Wi-Fi. Shut that off. But anyway, so just to bear with me here this evening. I apologize about the blurriness, but anyway, as you can see, I'm scrolling across the bottom there, the Make-A-Wish, and I do appreciate everybody that has contributed to that, and anybody else that wishes to go ahead and get involved and contribute to such a great charity. I'll tell you, we've got lots to be thankful for, and nothing better than helping children. So, too many streams, but see, I'm only doing one stream here this evening. I'm not sure what is happening with this. So we will see. I'm going to figure this out. I'm just going to hardwire it from in the future. So, but I appreciate that, and we'll see what transpires anyway. So, on to solar. Now, when we're talking about solar on RVs, one thing you got to understand is the limitations that you're going to have, first of all. And when we're talking about limitations, we're talking about if you're going to be putting them on your roof, well, you're going to be limited to the roof size of your RV. Now, there are ways that you can go ahead and do solar using what we call suitcases. So it's portable panels. And then the nice thing about the portable panels is you can set them in the sun and still be parked in the shade, right? But then you're going to be limited to how much you're going to be able to use for that. We're going to get into more on this. So tonight's kind of a basic understanding, because I'll tell you what, it is a huge, huge subject, and there's a lot of things that go with it. So I'm going to kind of give you a basic overview, give you things to consider. And for those of you that are looking into doing this, at least you're going to have a basic understanding of what you might need, and then where to go from that. So, okay, so limitations we're talking about. Room on the roof. Again, if you're putting panels in your roof. Cargo carrying capacity for your trailer or your RV, because we're not just talking trailers. You can talk about trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes. So there's a number of issues there. Tongue weight, for those of you that are having a towable, or pin weight, because if you're putting the batteries up front, obviously the tongue weight's going to could be an issue for your tow vehicle. So that's another issue. Another thing is room for the batteries. Is there enough room for you to put the amount of batteries that you need? So those are some things that you need to consider. Now, what are all the things that we're going to be talking about that you're putting or that you need to run solar? Of course, you're going to need solar panels. Now, in solar panels, you're talking about, let me go ahead, I'm going to share the screen here. Solar panels come in two different ones, but it could be, so what we have is if you want to call these framed or fixed, they're not a portable type, but this one here, you can get this style. You get the flat panel that the solar panel will lay flat like this. It's nice and framed out, or you can get them where you can get up on your roof and adjust them for the sun. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing you could do is get what we call flexible panels. Show you what flexible panels look like here. So that'll be the flexible panel. Now, when you're talking about the different, flexible versus the other kind, I don't know that one is any better than the other. I think you're going to hear people talking about the differences and ones that they like and ones that they don't like. I think that's going to come down to the individual person that's doing it and so forth. So those are some things to consider. So now you need your solar panel. Now, the next thing you're going to need when you're talking solar panels is you're going to need connectors. Now, when I'm talking about connectors are something that you're going to be connecting on the roof. And what that allows you to do is take and put multiple panels coming into the system. On this particular one, this would be 3 different solar panels coming into your RV. Now, from there, what you need to do, you have to understand is, let me just I want to kind of give you a general idea of what we're talking about here. And hopefully this will be able to show it to you. Let me pull this up a little bit. So we're talking about having solar panels coming in off the roof, right? And you're going to be taking them through that connector, and you're coming down into your camper. Now, you're going to want to have some type of fuse breaker between what we would call your controller and your batteries. You also want one before you come into your to your controller. And then you want one, if you're going to have an inverter, you want one between that as well. Now, let's talk about, let me get over here, back up here. So for some people, a fuse breaker might look like this. And now you want to be careful. And I'm sure that if you're having somebody install the system, they're going to get the right amperage size for the fuse breaker for you. And it's going to be fine. But you're going to need to have these. This is very important for you to have protection for you for your system. Now, some people might not be doing the inverter thing, so you might just be having the panels on the roof. You'll have a controller inside, and then it's going to your batteries. And so all you care about is having or replenishing your battery power to allow you to use your 12 volt in your camper. Now, for those of you that want to go ahead and take it a step further, and maybe you want to be able to operate some 110 items in your camper. And by the way, for those of you, I'll be answering some questions. If you have some questions a little bit later, I'll get to those questions and I'll make sure we get back and I'll check that out. But an inverter is another thing that a lot of people might consider putting in their camper. Some people already have inverters in their campers, and they might have 2 batteries running a residential refrigerator. Now, for those of you that want to go ahead and be able to run some outlets and so forth, you might have to add an additional inverter. Now, keep in mind that the inverter that you're using correlates to the type of batteries you're using. And same thing with the controller. So let me just pull up one of the controllers here. And let's see, let me just get this thing up here. I can't see it. I'm going to pull this other one up here. So let me pull this one up here. So on your controller on the inside, what'll happen is on this thing here, it'll have where you can see it has your amps and volts that's for your battery, but it'll have a battery type, as you can see right down here. I don't know if you can see where my arrow's pointing. And you're able to determine what battery you're charging for, because that's important that the system knows what kind of battery that you have. So this is what a solar controller would look like inside of your camper. Now, this is just one. This is the ZAMP controller. Now, let's talk about batteries and what type of batteries that you might want to consider. And what it turns out to, what it ends up being is, it's coming down to, what are you trying to accomplish? How many amps are you trying to run over the course of an evening or whatever? So we're talking amp hours. Now, if you're talking about with batteries, typically on just trying to get something pulled up here. Typically on your typical RVs, you have what we call deep cycle batteries. It's a 12 volt battery, and they're deep cycle. Now, the deep cycle batteries, they could be running anywhere, well, they can have anywhere from 33 up to like 75 amp hours with a deep cycle. Now, you might be able to give a little bit higher than that, but for the most part, that's what you're looking at. Now, for those of you that decided you wanted to go ahead and go to an AGM battery, okay, AGM battery would be a little step up. Now, some people do what they call the 6 volt, so you need 2 6 volt AGMs. And you can get those, they could be anywhere from 100 amp hours up. So you can see how you can really increase the amount of amperage that you're able to utilize just by making a switch in batteries. Now, what you have to understand is it all comes down to budget, right? Because each time, deep cycle, they're going to run you maybe $100. You jump up to the AGMs, they could be running you 200 or more, right? Then what do you have? The next jump, we'd be talking about lithium batteries, right? And with a lithium battery, you could be talking about anywhere from, a few $100s up to thousands of dollars for them. Now, obviously, once you're going up to the lithium batteries, the weight is going to change, which is going to help you as well. Your typical deep cycle battery weighs at about 40 some pounds. AGM's a little bit less, and the lithium probably going to be the least as far as for weight. And I guess it really depends on what size of the lithium and AGM. There's a number of different variables. So you've got to take all that into consideration. And then, of course, your inverter size, right? Now, some questions that you need to be able to answer for yourself before you go trying to put a solar panel system on your RV is, well, if you want to know how many panels you need, you want to know what you're trying to accomplish, what all you're trying to run. I mean, you see some people that might have just a 100-watt solar panel on the roof. They might have 200, 400, 900. There's just, it runs the gamut, and it comes down to your roof size. Then that's going to correlate from there. Now you're going to have to determine, okay, how big of a battery bank of batteries that you're going to want. How many amp hours are you going to want to have stored that you're going to be able to utilize? Now, obviously, if you are to, if you're in a fifth wheel or a motorhome, you typically have the opportunity to possibly have a generator as a backup to kind of help recharge your batteries. Now, you can have that with a regular trailer, but that means you got to lug something with you. There's typically, unless it's a toy hauler, there's no place for that actually to sit inside a compartment somewhere. So you're talking about how many panels you need, how big a bank of batteries, and then if you're going to be using an inverter, okay, you got to ask yourself, okay, what are you trying to operate off that inverter? Are you just trying to operate a few outlets? Or are you going to be talking about, when you're running those outlets, what type of small appliances might you be running off of them as well? Then, there's some of these RVs out there, they're putting, a 3,600-watt inverter in there, and they're being able to run an electric cooktop. They're able to run the air conditioner. Now, then you get in a whole other realm, and it comes down to how much power do you have stored away, and then how quickly is that going to be used? How quickly is it going to be rejuvenated for you? So a number of different things here. And does anybody have any questions? I'm going to run through here and see who the heck showed up here, because I know I've been watching the chat here, and I'll tell you, quite the room we have in here. We got Chuck Ash from down there on the Eastern Shore. Appreciate you coming in. I think I saw Nursing Our Travel Bug. Appreciate that. Thrifty Angela, thank you for joining us. Brian Matthews, there we go. You're here. Avenger RV Adventure. And as I mentioned earlier, got your gift out there in the mail. Get everybody's taken care of and I know that was a month ago, so sorry about that there. Texas Family Camping. Appreciate that. I appreciate you guys coming in from traveling down the Bannister. I'm sorry that I got in there late, but I was trying to bone up on some of this and get things in line. So Vincent Kennedy, he's in the house here this evening. We got Bob from BluWave. BluWave, I appreciate BluWave Odyssey. Appreciate you coming in. By the way, hopefully, Bob, I'm hoping to see you down there in Tampa in January. Of course, you might not recognize me at that point. We'll see. Fox Van D, appreciate it. Hey, that was a really nice live you did the other night. Very nice and touching story that you put on there. So very nice. Anybody that wants to check out, I'll tell you, Dee, she's the real deal there, and I'll tell you, she's having a ball out there, and things have really changed for her. And enjoy watching your channel when I get over and watch that, Dee. Thank you very much. Shanna Craft is here. Appreciate you guys coming in. Roberto Medina from down there, Kissimmee, Florida. Appreciate that. Let's see who else we got in here. Of course, traveling down the Bannisters, they're in here as well. So anyway, now let me see if I have anybody have any questions pertaining to the solar. Now, does anybody in the house actually use any solar for their RV? If so, put a comment down below and let us know how much you have, what kind of RV you have, and so forth. The thing I think would be quite helpful for some people. Oh, I'm blurry again. They're saying, uh-oh. Hope I'm not blurry anymore. But anyway, I'm going to fix this. It's going to be fixed for next time. I guarantee you that. So, Runner Overland. And look at, I'll tell you, that's quite the Jeep you have there. We had one of those come in. It was from Road Trek, and I did a little video on that. It was something similar to that. Quite the setup. You're able to get up high out of the way there, which is nice. Let me see if anybody has anything. Let's see. Box Van D. She says she has a 12-volt Deep Cycle Marine AGM, 195 amp hours. Well, that's great. Be interested to know, D, how long does that allow you to run things, and how much solar do you have to recharge that, or are you just driving to recharge it and so forth? James Canton D's is in the house. Appreciate you coming in here, James. Proceeding onward in POA vlog. Thank you for coming in. Love that. Love your little thumbnail there. So weekend RVing, they have 970 watts of solar. Now they have a fifth wheel. If I'm not mistaken, you have what, a 40-foot fifth wheel? So, and I think you guys just put that on there, and I believe you guys just did a video on that. So if you have any questions on that, run over to their channel, and they can explain things maybe in a little more detail. You know, it's always helpful to hear from people that are actually using these options on their RVs. You know, because it's one thing for somebody like myself to tell you, give you some background on it, but it is even more beneficial to hear from people that are actually utilizing these systems. They definitely make a difference. Now, somebody says that I'm clear now, but my face is fuzzy. Damn it. I hate it when that happens. I'm gonna work on this. We're gonna get it worked out. We got POA looking into solar maybe next year. That's it. I'll tell you, and that's the thing. It really comes down to, you know, you're looking at what you're trying to accomplish, and then you've got to look at your limitations and budget, right? And that's really the three things that will steer you into what is going to work for you. But do your homework and really figure out what it is you're trying to accomplish, because I'll tell you, the last thing you want to do is put the wrong system on and then have to change it. Now, the nice thing about solar, though, a lot of these systems, you can always add to them. So make sure you're looking at a system so that way there, if you wanted to add to it later on, that you're able to it's plug and play. So look at that. So any other questions from anybody out here? Like I say, I do appreciate you all coming in here this evening. By the way, who in the chat is going to be actually down at the Tampa RV show in January? I see we have using 500 watts of portable solar. Wow. That's amazing. Debbie Griffith is asking, what is super solar? Super solar, that's a good question. I wonder if that's a name brand. Anybody ever heard of Super Solar? Can't say that I have. Oh, and Steve Muse, I appreciate Steve. Appreciate you coming in the house here this evening. Hope you found this helpful. And for those of you that are watching this on replay, please do comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Give us a thumbs up, share it if you would. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you're notified when I'm coming on, when I have new videos on coming, out here. So, by the way, did you all see the video I put out talking about the Furrion oven? I'll tell you, they just came out with a new little thing here, and I love it because the dial, when you light the burner, or if you have it turned in the on position, instead of it lighting up blue, it lights up red. So I love that little change there. And then let's see here. Somebody has take a look here. We need 700 watts at least for our residential reefer. Wow. Okay, so you have a Jayco J-Flight 184 BH. Okay. Well, good deal, man. Well, I look forward to catching up with you when I'm down there. Plan on being at the Tampa RV show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Going to head out Friday. But yes, Chuck, I will be camping out down in Tampa at the RV show for a couple of days. Then we're going to head on down to Key West. Looking forward to that as well. So let's see here. We want to make it, but so far, don't think we can make Tampa. I know we're getting shipments from Canada coming in. Let's see what Box Van D was saying. I actually have 590 amps on my batteries and 920 watts on solar panel. Wow. That's amazing. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate that comment there, Ridge Runner. Thank you much. Also, if you would, Ridge Runner, tell us a little bit about your channel, would you please? Appreciate that. You turn the fridge off about 5 to 6 hours a day. Okay. Well, thank you much. Oh, looks like I did miss somebody. I missed old Schubert 1776. Sorry about that. I don't know where I've been. The chat's moving a little bit, and I know I missed some people here. So, but yeah, so the wife and I were planning a trip going down to Tampa. We're going to spend some time in Savannah. We're going to spend time in Tampa, Key West, head up to St. Augustine, and then really looking forward to our last stop, which is going to be Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is the old Mayberry RFD. Looking forward to doing some touring there as well. So anyway, so again, just a little bit of information. Hopefully this kind of gave you a better insight into solar, and that you understand that you're not going to be able to run everything unless you've got massive amounts of storage and battery capacity. So, but do appreciate that. And Chuck, I'm going to be gone from January 8th and coming back on the 31st of January. So the wife and I are looking forward to that. It's going to be quite the trip. And we're going to take in the sights, relax. And it's going to be a shame that we're going to have to be down there when it's so flipping cold up this way, right? So, but I'm hoping we catch some really great weather out that way. So anyway. So listen, I do appreciate everybody coming in here this evening. Any last questions before we sign off here? I'm going to hold off here because I know sometimes the last time I signed off, and dang it, if we didn't have a question come in right at the last second. But I do appreciate everyone coming in. Be sure to smash that like button and check out that Make-A-Wish. Donate if you can. Listen, I don't care how much you donate. Every penny counts. And I'm serious when I tell you that. So, any last questions? Without further ado, then, folks, I appreciate everybody coming in. We're going to go ahead and sign off till the next time. And by the way, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. And make sure you leave some for leftovers on Friday. Hold on, we had somebody ask a question here. Thor, is it worth $80K? Well, if you could still get one for $80K, listen, Thor is Thor. Thor, what they do is they do offer, one thing they do in their coaches is they offer a lot of options that are standard equipment. And so the one you're talking about for $80K would be the one with the standard batteries with the generator. Then, of course, they have the other Tolero where you can get it with the under the hood generator and the lithium batteries. That's like a $25,000 upgrade. So, but yes, that is it. And do I have solar? No, I do not have solar. I plug in. However, I do some boondocking, and I've done that. But when I boondock, I've had access to power so that at least I could keep my batteries charged. I wasn't using the air conditioner or anything, but I was able to keep things going. And James needs same to you. Wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be catching up with you next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Stay tuned for my topic for next week. It's going to be a doozy. I can assure you that. So thanks again. Have a great evening.